Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Sherman and this is Sherman's Spectrum, a channel where we get to talk about LGBTQ related issues and also LGBTQ cinema. Alright, just a quick disclaimer, there are birds outside making a lot of noise, but let's just let the birds do their thing and we can get on with the video. So we're going to talk about my top 5 favorite LGBTQ films. I kind of want to do this kind of quickly because editing is, it's not for everybody. Alright, okay, so basically we're going to start with the first one, which is Brokeback Mountain. Why Brokeback Mountain? Because it was kind of the most talked about film in early 2000s, from 2005 to 2006. Everybody knew this film. I'm not saying that it's the greatest film out there, but it is definitely something that a lot of people that I knew watched or was familiar with, and it might have to do with Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger because they were quite famous and Hollywood heartthrobs, and of course they were promoting the film in whatever way they could. Everybody was like, oh my god, these two masculine straight guys playing gay cowboys, and it was quite controversial, and it was a very big taboo issue here in South Africa. Like, nobody would go watch this film when it came out. Like, nobody wanted to be related to that stigma of watching Brokeback Mountain. I do think that queer cinema has come a very long way since the early 2000s, and nowadays, like, if you go watch a film that has LGBTQ related issues or has a gay protagonist or a lesbian protagonist, it's like okay, because we've come a long way. Number 2, the second film that I hold very dear to my heart is because it's weird, and anybody who knows me knows that I'm on the more weirder, darker side, despite the colorful flowers around me. Is Closet Monster. Closet Monster is really, really weird. I mean, for me as well. It's dark. It is a coming-of-age film which explores basically the long effects of childhood trauma and also the fear of being who you are and expressing with that and dealing with family issues. So it's quite a heavy film, but I love everything about this film, from the cinematography to the music to the acting. Connor Jessup is the main character in the film. For those of you who don't know him, he does have a show on Netflix, so you should check that out, and you should also check this out. Number three on this list is a personal one, but personal because it is a South African film. It came out in 2019, and it basically talks about the apartheid regime in South Africa, and it's also a coming-of-age film. It's quite very interesting. Also very controversial for South Africans. It's not something that people want to talk about because especially the main title of the film is a homophobic slur that is used in South Africa. And I don't want to mention the name here, just for safety, for YouTube regulation rules, and for those viewers watching, I don't want to say anything offensive. But this film is quite interesting. I wouldn't really want to say that it is nothing new. There are plenty of movies like this where, where there's a bunch of boys who end up going together, and, eventually, of course, one of them is gay, and, it's all about male toxic, this whole vibe of trying to be masculine, and you have this sergeant that tries to demasculine you or something like that. I don't know if that's a word, but it's a really good film, so I would watch it if I were you. Okay, the last 2 films are actually kind of one of my favorite out of all of the lists because it is by a French-Canadian director called Xavier Dolan, and he just is phenomenal, not just with his films as having gay protagonists, but he is also an openly gay director. And most of his films are in French, and he also stars in some of his films. And the first one we're going to talk about is, at number 4, is Tom at the Farm. Tom at the Farm is more of a deeper psychological thriller. It's actually one of Xavier Dolan's only thrillers that he's done so far, but it's really, 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 really good. And I think you just have to watch it to understand it. It's kind of like an experience. And coming at number 5 is my favorite Exovidome film, and that would be Mateus and Maxime, also a French-Canadian film. And this is basically a film about two friends who kind of fall in love or kind of have an experience, and they're not quite sure where they lie on the spectrum of their sexuality. Alright, so if you haven't seen any of these films, I would personally recommend that you watch them because I will be talking about them in other videos in more full-length reviews, and there will be spoilers. So if you don't want to be surprised, do yourself a favor and watch these films. They are amazing. Thank you very much for watching, and please, if you would like to see more content like this, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends, because here we're going to break boundaries when it comes to the LGBTQ film cinema. Peace.